Batman has a lot of hype around it right now with the new release of The Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time, and he has been since I was just a little kid, so I was very excited to see this movie. With all of the Batman hype, I thought it would be fun to go through and see how fans ranked all theatrical Batman films, so every film that was released in theaters. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers doing rankings of all the Batman movies, so I'm gonna make mine a little bit different. I'm not gonna give my own opinion, but instead look at data online. I'm going to go over how fans online ranked the 15 other theatrical Batman films, and we'll find out where the 16th film, The Batman, fits into that ranking. Now, there will be some spoilers for the other Batman movies, but I will not give any spoilers for the new movie, The Batman. That part will be spoiler free. So now that I've said that, let's jump right into it and start with how fans ranked the first 15 Batman movies. Coming in dead last with 3.7 stars out of 10, we have Batman and Robin from 1997. It's clear why it's so low. It might be the worst superhero movie ever made. It was so bad that it canceled the 90s Batman franchise, which was meant to have more films. It took 8 years to get another live-action Batman movie, and both George Clooney, who played Batman, and the director Joel Schumacher apologized for this film.
Didn't you apologize to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin? I always apologize for Batman.
If I disappointed them in any way, then I really want to apologize, because it wasn't my intention.
Coming in second to last, we have Batman Forever, which fans gave 5.4 stars out of 10. Another movie done by Joel Schumacher, which came out before Batman and Robin. This movie tried to mix the 60s Batman silliness with the dark Tim Burton Batman movies, and it didn't work. More than anything else, it's known for the bat nipples and the infamous crotch grab scene. This movie actually has a lot of nostalgia for me because it was the first live-action Batman I saw as a kid, but looking at it now, I agree with fans, it's not very good. I think it deserved the rating of 5.4 stars. At number 13, we have Batman and Robin, a serial from 1949. Fans rated this serial 6 stars out of 10. This was a sequel to another Batman serial that was released 6 years prior to this one. It was a black and white 15-part serial, each episode being around the length of a normal TV show today. And for those who don't know what serials are, they were basically short episodes released weekly, but instead of watching it on your TV at home, people would go see it in the theater because at the time, not many people had TVs in their house. It's since been released on DVD, and if you love Batman, you should check it out. It's interesting to see how it all started.
I owe you a great deal, Batman, for saving my invention.
At number 12, we have Justice League, which audiences gave a 6.1 out of 10. Batman was a huge part of this film, so I'm going to count it as one of the Batman movies. This film was a disaster, especially with the unfortunate events that led to Zack Snyder leaving the project. After he left, it was taken over by Joss Whedon, who directed The Avengers, and he tried to make this more serious and dark film into a brighter and more comedic movie, much like the style he gave the MCU movies he made.
Yeah. Something is definitely bleeding.
Fans saw this very clearly just from the trailers, and many, including myself, did not see it in theaters. They made millions of dollars less than they expected, and it just left fans wanting the original vision. And we'll get to that original vision in just a minute. At number 11, with a rating of 6.2 stars out of 10, we have the first ever on-screen Batman in 1943, entitled Batman. This is what the Batman and Robin serials are a sequel to, and I've seen both, and I have to agree with audiences that this one is the better of the two. Considering the fact that the character of Batman was only created 4 years before this, it's pretty impressive. At number 10, with 6.5 stars out of 10, we have Batman v Superman. This was the debut of the DCEU's Batman, and it was a letdown to many fans.
Oh shit.
I think there was so much hype around just the idea of this film, and because it was delayed, there was even more hype built up, so when audiences finally saw it, the film just couldn't meet the fans' expectations. I enjoy most movies, but I remember sitting in the theater at the end of the film just thinking, is it over yet? That might have also been because I had terrible seats in the front row, so the whole time I was watching it like this. But I think I have to agree with fans online. 6.5 stars out of 10 is the rating it deserves. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Coming in at number 9, we have Batman the Movie, which audiences gave 6.5 stars out of 10. This was based on the 1960s Batman TV series with Adam West, which personally is a show that I absolutely love. I know a lot of people hate it because it's silly, but the 60s Batman brought so much attention to the character. Without this, we probably wouldn't have this, or this, or this. The movie had all of the best villains from the show team up, which at the time was a big deal and was something we hadn't really seen before. Sure, it's silly and not like the modern day Batman, but if you just enjoy it for what it is, you'll have a good time watching it and you'll see why it's ranked where it is.
If I can just pry loose my utility belt.
At number 8, we have Batman Returns, which audiences gave a 7.1 out of 10. This was the second Batman movie done by director Tim Burton. It features Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and we see Michael Keaton return as Bruce Wayne and Batman. This movie was dark, much darker than audiences thought it would be. McDonald's even canceled their Happy Meal collaboration for this film, which I can see why. This is not a kids movie. But fans love this film for its cinematic beauty, its risk-taking, and for the continuation of this dark Batman, which we hadn't really seen before Tim Burton's take on the character, at least not on the big screen. At number 7, we have the Lego Batman movie, which fans gave a 7.3 out of 10. If you ask me, the Lego Batman movie is honestly one of the better Batman films. It's not your typical Batman movie, but it's one that fans of the character can really appreciate.
Wait, does Batman live in Bruce Wayne's basement?
No, Bruce Wayne lives in Batman's attic.
Coming in at number 6, we have Batman, which audiences gave a 7.5 out of 10. This was the movie that changed it all. After 21 years of not seeing Batman on screen, Tim Burton came forward and gave us a new outlook on the Dark Knight. Instead of being silly like audiences were used to, Warner Brothers took a risk when hiring Burton, and it paid off big time, not just for them, but for Batman fans, Batman comic book writers, and all future filmmakers who took on the task of making a Batman movie. The darkness we saw here in this film sparked the idea for Batman the Animated Series, which is arguably the best on-screen Batman portrayal of all time. Tim Burton had a vision, and based on the rating, audiences clearly gravitated toward it.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
At number 5, we have Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which audiences gave 7.8 stars out of 10. This movie was part of Batman the Animated Series, which as I just said is arguably the best representation of Batman on screen. Mark Hamill returns as the Joker, and Kevin Conroy returns as Batman, which is just the icing on the cake. The film studies more about Bruce Wayne than Batman, which the show didn't do too much of, at least not to this extent. This is the only animated Batman movie besides the Lego Batman movie to be released in theaters, and clearly, as it came in at number 5, it's also one of the best. Getting to the top 4, we have Zack Snyder's Justice League, better known as the Snyder Cut, which audiences gave 8.1 stars out of 10. Remember when I told you about the original vision of the Justice League film? Yeah, well, this is it. This was what fans had begged for years, and Warner Brothers finally allowed Zack Snyder to return to make the film he wanted.
But before you see Justice League, I wanted to say a huge thank you to all of the fans that made this possible.
It was 4 hours, but it was 4 hours well worth the time. Many think this film redeemed Ben Affleck's Batman, and the ending Snyder gave us made myself and many other fans wish that this was what we had gotten from the start. It left audiences wanting more, and that's a sign of a great film.
You need me. You need me to help you undo this world you created by letting her die.
The unfortunate part though is that we're never going to get any more of this. That was it. At number 3, we have the first film in the Dark Knight trilogy, which audiences gave 8.3 stars out of 10. I agree with fans that this was the weakest of the trilogy, but that doesn't mean much because it's also one of the best Batman films we've ever seen. The slow build of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman was very interesting, as we see the trials and tribulations he took to become the Batman we all know and love.
My bets lost away.
That's frightened me.
This time my enemies shared my dread.
Coming in at number 2, we have The Dark Knight Rises, which fans gave 8.4 stars out of 10. This finale of the Dark Knight trilogy delivered on so many fronts. Having Bane be the final villain was a great choice because he's the one who literally broke the bad both here and in the comics. Seeing that famous back-breaking scene committed to film was jaw-dropping. Many also thought it gave Bruce Wayne, Selina Kyle, Alfred, and the fans themselves the perfect ending. And at number 1, audiences ranked The Dark Knight as the best Batman film with 9.1 stars out of 10. To many fans, this film is perfect, and I myself believe that as well, because this is my favorite superhero movie of all time. The Joker played by Heath Ledger was chilling, the action was insane, and the development of Bruce, Harvey, and even Rachel was so well done. This is arguably the best live-action superhero movie, not just for Batman, but for all heroes. And based on the rating, fans agree that this is the best Batman movie. So now that we know the rankings of the other Batman films, where does The Batman fit into this ranking? Robert Pattinson makes his debut as Batman and Bruce Wayne, which many, including myself, did not have high expectations for. He delivered big time though, and I'd say he's up there with Keaton and Bale. Most audiences agree that the acting in this movie was absolutely incredible, especially from the Riddler. Paul Dano's performance is up there with the best Batman villain portrayals, not surpassing, but certainly coming close to Heath Ledger's Joker. Audience's biggest complaint with this film though was that it was very long, but some, including myself, don't mind this because it just means more Batman. So now the rating the fans gave this movie. Audiences gave this film 8.5 stars out of 10, which when looking at the other rankings, this makes it fall just above The Dark Knight Rises and just below The Dark Knight. So according to the data, it comes in as the second best Batman film. So do you guys agree with the data? Is this the second best Batman movie? If not, where do you think it should fit into the ranking? Let me know in the comments below. I can certainly see why fans and the data placed it here. They really did give us a great Batman movie, which ironically I did not have high hopes for. I'm happy with how it turned out though, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Thank you so much for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life like my cute dog Loki and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe and look out for more great movie flame videos on the way.